All right, guys, welcome to Dropping Dimes. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so tomorrow we're going to have game two of the Eastern Conference Final between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks. All right, Milwaukee ended up having a 7-game series against Brooklyn. Milwaukee ended up coming out as the victors because, the Brooklyn Nets Milwaukee just played better. They just played better, even though the Brooklyn Nets were injured and stuff like that. They just played better. They just were able to knock down shots in overtime in Game 7. As for the Atlanta Hawks, led by Trae Young, they showed that, hey, you know what? We're gonna take advantage of the fact that Ben Simmons, is afraid to shoot, hasn't scored a bucket in the fourth quarter in the last 3 games, games 5, 6, and 7. And they just showed they were a better team. They played more cohesive and stuff like that, allowed them to get into the Eastern Conference Finals. All right. So before we got into these playoffs, I imagined, and I had said in a previous video, that the winner of Brooklyn versus Milwaukee was going to be the representatives of the Eastern Conference Finals. Right. They're going to represent the Eastern Conference in the finals. I was very surprised to see Atlanta make it this far, but the way they have been playing in these playoffs, right? They knocked out the Knicks in 5 games. They knocked out Philly in 7 games, right? And the way that they played in game 1, I mean, it shows, you know what? I was watching First Take not that long ago, right? And Stephen A. Smith had said something of Quavo had shot him a text message or a DM or whatever and said, hey, you know what? The Atlanta Hawks, all right, are the Eastern Conference Warriors, all right? And I thought about it. I'm like, Trey, everybody tries to say that, hey, Trae Young might be the next Steph Curry and stuff like that. I don't see it, all right? But you have shooters around you in Atlanta. You have Danilo Gallinari, right? You also have Bojan Bogdanovic, right? You have Trae Young. You have Lou Williams who can score. He could be a shooter if he wants to, but he's a scorer, all right? John Collins, I believe he could shoot the 3 for you. Hunter can shoot the 3 if he has to, okay? The only one that's not going to be able to shoot the 3 for you is Clint Capella. And there's pieces around you. They can open up the court, and they can shoot the 3, drive in, whatever they need to do, right? They play in a very cohesive type of way, all right? It's team basketball when they're playing in Atlanta, right? Led by Nate McMillan, who's the head coach, right? I believe he still has an interim tag. I don't know why, if he still has an interim tag, why it hasn't been lifted. And honestly, whoever runs the Indiana Pacers, right? The GM, the president, or whatever needs to get fired because they blamed him. And look what he's doing in Atlanta, right? 3 wins away from making the East. The finals, right? 3 wins away from making the finals, right? And you do this to Nate McMillan. Shame on you guys in Indiana, right? You guys should all be fired. All right, but getting back into game 2. All right, going into game 2. So in game 1, Atlanta won 116-113, right? Trae Young was on fire, had 48 points, all right? Didn't shoot a ridiculous amount of threes didn't make a ridiculous amount of threes as he normally would do. He shot 4 of 13 from the 3-point line, all right? The man had 11 assists, 7 rebounds. 7 rebounds for him. Very, outstanding, all right? Short guy, doesn't really, strike me as the type of person that's gonna, try to get a whole bunch of rebounds off the boards. But he was able to manage to get 7, all right? Next to him after that was John Collins. John Collins was doing his thing right there. I don't know what's it called. PJ Tucker must have had a difficult time trying to, contain John Collins. John Collins, 11-16, phenomenal. Shooting the ball, getting baskets, getting his buckets in. All right. After that, Clint Capella was doing his thing. Obviously, Clint Capella is not going to shoot anything outside of 5 feet from the basket. This guy had 12 points. After that, you had Kevin Huerter. All right, 13 points over there. And then Danilo Gallinari off the bench gave you 9. And then obviously Lou Williams only played 12 minutes when he gave you 3 points. Giannis Antetokounmpo, was doing his thing, gave you 34 points, 14 of 25 shooting. All right, 0 of 2. From the 3-point line. I really love the fact that Giannis is not trying to shoot a whole bunch of jump shots. 3-point shots, because of the fact that he shot you in the first quarter, shot you at the end of the first half, and that was it, and he gave it up. Okay. If he tries to fall in love with a 3-point shot, Milwaukee will lose in 5 games or 6 games. All right. But I have a strong feeling that Milwaukee has a good chance of winning this series. All right. I'm not too sure how this is going to go. I'm wondering how Mike Budenholzer is going to be able to make a game plan on trying to contain Trae Young from going ballistic. I mean, they can't allow him to give you 48 points. Milwaukee, stylistically, they are the better team. All right, they have guys like Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Drew Holiday, PJ Tucker, who is a culture setter right there. All right, and also they have Pat Connaughton and all those players. I know they're missing Dante DiVincenzo, who is a huge piece. I wanted one of the teams from New York to draft him, because seeing him playing in Villanova and the way he had played in that in the college basketball finals was phenomenal stuff. But yeah, guys, I mean, the Milwaukee has a lot of game planning to do on how to stop Trae Young. I don't know. I mean, the easy solution to say is, hey, make sure you have Drew Holiday and lock him up all 94 feet. But that's going to exhaust Drew Holiday, because you're going to need him also to score you some buckets. So what are you going to do to contain Trae Young? Because the only way that Atlanta is able to get the series going into the finals, right? Make sure they win the series, is Trae Young consistently is going to have to knock you down, get you 40 points. And do I think he's going to be able to do that throughout the whole series? I don't think so. I think he's going to exhaust him out. The whole thing with Milwaukee is going to need to tire out Trae Young, all right? Make sure he's exhausted. Make sure he looks tired. Make sure he looks like Giannis Antetokounmpo in Game 7 between the Bucks and the Nets. All right, that's what you got to make him look like. All right, for you to have him chance. But I think for Game 2, I think Milwaukee gets it done. I think Chris Middleton's gonna go berserk. I think Giannis is gonna give you another 30 points. I think Brook Lopez is gonna give you about 15 points. PJ Tucker, it doesn't matter how many points he gives you, as long as he's able to contain John Collins and make sure he has a tough shooting night, because he can't allow John Collins to have 11 for 16 shooting. All right, that is unacceptable for PJ Tucker, because PJ Tucker is gonna take the best assignments. All right, and John Collins should be having, when he's being guarded by PJ Tucker, he should be having something along the lines of like 5 for 15 or something along that lines. All right, should not be having an easy night. Getting his shot going. And yeah, guys, I mean, Brook Lopez, I know he likes shooting the ball. He fall in love with the three point shot. But come on, man, get inside that post. Use your big body. Back people down. Get yourself easy buckets. All right. Milwaukee needs to stop shooting so many threes, all right? Because if they could drive into the basket and get you a numerous amount of points inside the paint, then take the easiest bucket instead of just always trying to shoot for threes, all right? For Atlanta, the key to win is make sure that Trae Young is able to be the orchestrator that he is. Make sure he's able to get you a lot of points from the 3-point line. He's gonna have to make sure that Kevin Huerter, right? I believe Kevin Huerter has to be a big factor in this, along with Bojan Bogdanovic, right? Those two guys, right? Bojan Bogdanovic can't have another 1 for 6 shooting, all right? He can't just give you 4 points. Kevin Huerter, I mean, him giving you 13 points is okay, but Kevin Huerter is going to have to give you something along the lines of anywhere between 15 to 18 points consistently, and Bogdanovic is going to have to give you something along the lines of about 15 to 20 points consistently, all right? You don't want to burn out Trae Young, because you don't want to go into games 4 and 5 where he's already tired because he has to carry the load. The only way Atlanta wins is if the other shooters on that team, all right, Huerter, Bogdanovic, and even Lou Williams. Lou Williams, needs to play a little more minutes because he can get you buckets, all right? That's the only ways that Atlanta's going to be able to go into the next round and then possibly make the finals, all right? So yeah, for Game 2, I got Milwaukee winning. I got Milwaukee winning 120 to 115. And I think Chris Middleton is going to lead the way. He's probably going to score you anything above 30 points. All right, guys. So that covers everything for Dropping 9. That is my predictions for Game 2. And then hopefully I'll get you guys a video after Game 2. And let's see if I was right or not. All right. So then, guys, please hit a like and subscribe button. And thank you for tuning in for Dropping Dimes. All right. I'm out. Peace.